Complete the pattern, write the rule for the following. I'm going to give you information as a table. I wasn't sure. Obvious. Complete the pattern, write the rule. Or I guess complete the table. I don't know. The X's are going to go by regular numbers. Two easy ones, real quick. Miss Hershey's going to be checking your homework while you guys are trying to complete the pattern, write the rule. Complete the pattern, write the rule. Maybe you know, depending where you're at with this. Actually, Hershey, do you want to take some time to go down to see Nancy?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Do you want to bring the grade book so she knows the issue?
Yeah.
Let's have a chat meeting. Complete the pattern, write the rule. Just ignore us while we're chatting, like you usually do. All right, listen up, please. Maximus. Oh, the red light's on. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about writing rules, patterns, hopefully mostly review, but stuff you haven't maybe seen a little bit, so we're just going to talk real quick. Also, good job on homework. Only 3 of you didn't do it. Okay? Which is, I think, the best completion rate ever. Okay? Unfortunately, you're the only tech algebra, so you're not competing with anyone. Although I might at some point, like, put the fire on my little new freshmen, and you guys will automatically win a pizza party. Okay? So, here we go. Complete the pattern, write the rule. If we are looking at this pattern on the first table, what's happening each time? Right? Adding 4 each time so that, ooh, gosh. What's the next one? Are you guys right? Yeah. Okay. So when I'm writing this rule, it's going to be pretty straightforward. When we're writing linear equation, this is specific. Not true. Most of first semester, we're going to talk about linear equation. Linear. Linear means line. There's really the only type of equation you know at this point. But at the end of the semester, we're going to be talking about exponential functions, and then next semester, we're talking about quadratic functions. So, just so you know, right now, for me to give you Algebra 1, 2 credit, you must know the difference between linear, exponential, and quadratic. We'll get there. Yeah. No, because you're not going to say how I want you to say it. Exactly. That's what I know. So, here's the rule. Y equals, where does it start? Where does it start? 7, and then what are you doing each time? Boom. Adding 4 what? Each time, times the x. Okay. So that's it. Every time we talk about a linear function, I will ask you the same 2 questions. I will ask you, where does it start? How does it change? Where does it start? How does it change? I will ask you that about a bazillion times, right? This rule starts at 7. I'm adding 4 each time. That's it. Simple as can be. You didn't say it wrong. Yes and no. Okay?
So I said it wrong in your case.
You said it mathematically correct, yeah. Both are correct. It doesn't matter which way you say it. Okay? So the same thing here, right? The same thing for the second one. I can see that it's doing what each time? Boom. Going down by 3. Great choice on the color there, Stolte. Okay? Going down by 3 so that this one would be negative. Okay, negative 4. Sorry, I'm not as quick as some of you guys. We already know that. Again, so when I'm talking about the rule, I'm going to talk about where does it start and what is it doing. Where does it start and what is it doing, right? So this one starts at 5, and then I'm subtracting 3 each time. Okay? Subtracting 3 each time. Nah. I'm going to go ahead and go back to number 4 in your workbooks. Back to number 4 in your workbooks. When you're looking at this, We'll talk about that function notation today. Again, here's what this means. And we talked about this last time. We're going to talk about it again. This means the weight of the chicken, right? It started at 45, and then it added 6 grams a day. Right? Started at 45, added 6 grams a day. I can do the same thing when you were talking about that like hospital problem, right? Hospital problem. Again, we'll talk about this notation. I don't really care about it right now. But where does it start? 250, and what's happening? Losing 3 each time, right? So, and again, in the problem here, it talks about, great, you've got this 250 milliliter bag. So you've got the 250 milliliter bag, and it's leaving at 3 milliliters per minute, right? So initially, it's full, 250. Initially, it's full, and then it's lowering down by 3 milliliters everything, okay? So those are the same forms of equations that we've been talking about, okay? You have some homework to talk about, 9 through 16. I'm going to tell you that you don't need to discuss number 13. You guys don't need to talk about it. We'll talk about a function. That's my bad. We'll talk about functions as a class. 13. You don't need to discuss number 13 as a table. We're going to talk about that as a whole class. But everything else, right, for like slopes especially, I need us to all be on the same page. Okay? This is, again, the part of the class where we're checking our accuracy, we're checking that we're getting it, our understanding, and that we are on the same page as the people at our table. Okay? So, I need that conversation about the answers and about the work to be, like, solid. Okay? I'm going to be coming around if you have questions or solved things. But the slopes are really big right now. The big thing I need from you guys is having the slope correct. Also, 12 must all be the same. Like, number 9, I need your answers to be solid. Number 12, I need your answers to be really, really solid. Okay? And then 16 would be a good one to talk about as well. Okay? 16 would be a really good one to talk about as well. All right? So I've got 3 big problems, 9, 12, 16, that I need your attention, like, to really start there, and then talk about the rest of them. I think that'll take you about 8 minutes, okay? So we're going to come back at 9:20, 10:20. Ready, set, go. Maximus. Check your answers, write the right ones down if you need to. Huh? What'd I do? What'd I do?
Why don't we sit next to you? He like bullies me.
Okay. I don't know what to say about that. Hey, shh. We're going to go through this, and then we'll go back and go over questions as we need to. Okay, 3 for A, -3 over 2 for B. It matters if it's positive or negative, so you would darn well have them written as I have them written. Okay? If you don't have them written like I have Finn, write them as I have them written. Okay? Number 10, -2 over 3 for A.
Wait a minute.
We'll go over questions in a second. You can tell me when I'm wrong. We're just going to do this first page. -2 over 3 and 0 for B. Undefined for C. 1/3 for D. Okay? 11, 30, 12. Yep. 12. 12, big time. -1, 33, 13, and 1. What'd I mess up? Oh, okay. Should B be 33? Yes. Oh, yeah, sorry. I got my thing. Phew! I used the wrong things. Cool, I used all the wrong things. Questions there? Okay. Real quick, we're going to vaguely talk about a function. Okay? I could give us notes that aren't going to make sense and to talk about a function. But here's what I think is more important. I think it's easier if we talk about a function as a whole class real quick. So we're going to have a discussion, like a brief one. If you're going to tune out right now, it's going to be really hard for you. Okay? Here's the thing. I think that talking about it and like trying to engage with our mind is an easier way to understand functions than writing down weirdly worded definitions, right? So, do you hear what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a connection to when we write stuff. That's why it's important to write stuff. But the definition is like, bleh, okay? And this is your brain is paying attention right now, okay? So, definition. I'm going to encourage you to pretend I'm talking to you personally. And then you're like, okay. Maybe. Okay. It's quick. Like, we're going to talk for like a minute right now. I'm going to explain to you what a function is. Yeah? Are your brain windows open? Some of them are, and some of them are not. I know, but your brain's not listening to you. Your brain, like, I know.
No, I'm saying the table like.
Yeah? You're dead forever. You're never going to lift your arm again. Okay, a function. A function is a relation where every input has exactly one output. That's the crazy thing we would have to write, okay? Every input has only one output, okay? It's a relationship, though. So we're going to talk about some examples. Then we'll get to the examples on number 13. One example, my favorite example to think about, is that given the time of day, there is exactly one temperature, right? So, for instance, if we were to go outside right now, like here in Portland, I'm not talking about international, but like we went outside right now, there's exactly one temperature, right? It's, I don't know. Anyone want to guess?
66.
4. We're gonna check. 61 in Cannon Beach. Here in Portland, did you already this book? It's 61 degrees in Portland. Okay.
Like I wasn't close.
So,
I can feel it.
yeah.
I was close because that's like.
Okay, who cares? So, right now, it's exactly 61 degrees. So at 10:25, 61 degrees out, right? Is it any other temperature outside right now, here in Portland? No, right? There's only one temperature for this time. If I switch that around, if I'm talking about like, hey, when's it going to be 61 degrees today? When's it going to be 61 degrees today? It's going to be 61 degrees today at 10:25. Is that the only option? No. When else is it might be 61 degrees? 10:26. 10:24. What about later tonight?
3:30.
Right? Like, you don't think it's going to hit 61 again today?
Yeah.
Right? We're still in the morning time, right? So it's going to get a little warmer today, and then it's going to cool back off again. Right? That's not a function then, because there are multiple times during the day that it might be that temperature. Okay? A function is when there's only one input, gets only one output. One input gets one output. Okay? That's what a function's looking like. We're going to keep talking about that idea. That's an idea we're going to build all year long. But the general piece you need to know right now is that each input has only one output. Okay? For instance, most of the things that we can think about are functions. Like, each of you in here has only one birthday. Right? I don't have to prove it. It's a fact. Okay? You aren't born twice. I'm not even, what? You're born at a time. This is the idea. Here's the same idea. Here's the same idea, Jamar. Your grade's either an A or a B. If you're at a 3.49, guess what? You're not at an A. You're at a B. There's a hard line. Okay? I'm just saying, if you're born at 12:00 a.m., that's this day, right? That's the next day. There's a time, okay? So, that's a function. So when we talk about this, did I freeze? When we're talking about 13, when you're talking about 13, does each basketball player have one jersey number? Right? Yeah, like when I played softball, right, I was number 31. I was always number 31. I wasn't 31 some games and 8 other games, right? Like I was always 31. Okay? Your driver's license number. You don't even know. You don't even have a license yet. All right? Or your social security number. Right? Do you have more than one? No. Okay? Right? Shh. We're not going to play, don't play acceptance right now. Right? You only have one. In here, if you, do you have only one email? No, right? This would not be a function. I might have more. I have like at least 3, 4. I have 4 emails I can think of right now. Yeah, but yours are all weird, probably.
Yeah, because I like free trials.
Wow. Okay, hey. Don't want to hear it. Okay, so, the last thing we're going to talk about, 14, this should be pretty quick, right? Internet speed is 5 megabytes per 1 second, 23 bushels per 1 acre, 7 ran the mile in 7 minutes. Ooh, this depends whether you did 1 mile in 7 minutes or whether you did 7 minutes per 1 mile. I'm going to say that as it's written is like that. As it's written, it's like that. 1 mile in 7 minutes. Okay? You can manufacture 5 items in 45 minutes. You better simplify that one. 5 items in 45 minutes. What's your rate really? 1/9. Awesome. And the revolutions per minute, that's 3,000 revolutions per minute. That's how fast your, I don't know, tires? Engine? Brake shaft? No.
That's the engine.
Something in your car is spinning.
Yeah, the crankshaft.
Good.
Ms.Stolte and like this.
I don't know any. You want to know how many lights are on in my car right now? I've got my tire light. I got my check engine light. I got my oil light. You guys don't talk about it. You know I'm putting that off, and it's not getting any better. So remember that talk. Okay. I can't take my own. You guys, you should please learn from my mistakes. I keep putting it off, and then here, the alignment on my car is off. And I drove my car a lot this summer because that's when I drive because I go places. Like I went to Yosemite, and I went to Canada, all over the place.
She drove her.
Okay, I only named like 3 lights, but then when I got back, I was like, hey, my tire light's on. And he's like, yeah, your tires are messed up. I was like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah, your alignment's off too. How are your brakes? I was like, oh.
I didn't die.
Yeah. My friends who I took road trips with were like, so great, we're riding in the wheels of death. I'm like, yes. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to get it done. Okay, also that's expensive. So biking is a lot cheaper. Except I got covered in water today. Okay. I didn't wear my other pants though, so my jeans are still wet. Oh, it's gross. Okay, we're gonna talk about inequalities. You've seen inequalities before. You know inequalities. Anyone want to tell me they've never seen an inequality? You lied.
Because they did like second grade.
Okay? But we're gonna do them in a different way now. We're gonna do them real quick. If you can get your driver's license beginning at age 16, how old can you be when you have a driver's license? 16 or older, right? So I'm going to write it as this. Your age, whatever you want to represent it as. I'm going to do X. X has to be greater than or equal to 16. You have to be bigger, more or equal to 16. Your age has to be more or equal than 16, right? You could be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever. But you have to be at least 16. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can be on my
So, as a new employee, you earn $8 an hour plus commission. For a given hour, what's the least you're going to make? $8, right? You might make more. Okay, they're not talking about taxes, but we'll get there, right? So your pay, my pay, is going to be at least $8 per hour. It's greater than or equal to $8 per hour. That's at 8 times H. 8 times H. The temperature for the heat presses can go up to 400 degrees. By the way, if we haven't talked about that yet, the heat presses get really hot. 400 degrees hot. Okay? They'll burn you. No, but we've had people be burned. Okay? The heat presses can go up to 400 degrees. So what's the temperature? Less than or equal to. The temperature is less than or equal to 400 degrees. less than or equal to 400 degrees. And then lastly, the t-shirt transfer must be centered on the shirt within a 1/4 inch. Centered within a 1/4 of an inch. So can you be more than a 1/4 inch off? No, you have to be less than a 1/4 inch off, right? The center must be less than or equal to a 1/4 of an inch. Those ones are rates.
So that would be just less than because it says within a 1/4 inch.
Okay. If it's a 1/4 inch, you're not selling. Costing you the $10. Huh?
Why? Don't try and do it.
No, I haven't got a history of that.
Seriously. Okay, last one. We already talked about this one again. Again, the bag starts full at 250 milliliters. You're losing 3 milliliters per minute. After 40 minutes, and we could think about this, right? We could just think about it. After 40 minutes, how much have I lost if I lose 3 milliliters per minute?
120 milliliters.
How'd you get that? Where are we going?
What you do is you do 3 times 40 to get.
Cool, okay, stop. So 3 times 40, yeah?
Yep.
3 times 40, if I'm losing 3 milliliters every 40, or every minute, and I do that for 40 minutes, I lose 120 milliliters. So essentially, I can just do 250 minus 3 times 40 is 250 minus 120 is, huh? God, thank goodness, I like you sitting right there. Okay, 130 milliliters, right? After 40 minutes. That's how much is left in the bag, okay? All right. Sorry. Yeah. You just need that. Yeah, Mickey.
Should we put the units on 15?
Sure. Okay. Liam. Hi. All right. You guys have about only one group has started their poster. I need you to present today. Oh. Remember those price points projects? Okay. So I'm going to remind you about Friday. Here's what you need. Hopefully, cross our fingers on this one. Take your heads up, please. Your group is responsible for the item that you have. Okay. So you have an item. You need to be able to tell me the price, right, of that item. So what we charge for the cost for the item and the revenue for the item, therefore the profit for the item. New idea, that's not a huge one, so we'll just talk about it quickly. What's a break even point? When we talk about breaking even, Mariah, what are we talking about? The point where you can pay off your cost, right? So if the heat presses cost us like around $1,300, the break-even point is when we've made a profit of how much? Of $1,300. So when we're at zero, right? So it's when you've made up the price of the cost. Okay, so for each item, you're going to do this 3 times. You've got the cost and revenue for the given item. You're going to do the cost and revenue if you charge a different price for the item. And then you're going to do the cost and revenue for a new item. Make sure you read that. All 3 of those things need to be on your poster. That's what I need you guys to present by the end of today. Okay? Some groups didn't quite read and thought they were really done at the end of Friday, and maybe you need to read through the requirements of this presentation again. All right? That's the summary. I'm going to give you guys some time to work. We need to start presentations. I'll give you a half hour. I want you to start before then, so get moving.